Well, keep it going and give it up for Andy Morris!
This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, 100%
Ladies, I know what you're thinking. I read your minds. Ross Kemp's much fitter in real life, isn't he? Isn't he? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Fantastic. I'm going to be talking to you tonight about a subject that is incredibly close to my heart. Literally, perspiration. It's fair to say that given the anxiety, the stress and the pressure of doing stand-up on stage, that pretty soon I'm going to start to sweat and this shirt's going to start to soak up moisture, quite like a boudoir finger. That's boudoir finger as in noun, and not verb, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I'm, of course, referring to the sweet sponge fingers often found at the base of tiramisu and trifle. Depending on the area of Leicester you're from, a boudoir finger may have a completely different connotation. Easy. As perhaps a few of you are thinking here that my particular brand of humour isn't necessarily floating your boat, perhaps don't worry about that. Based on current perspiration levels, the wet t-shirt competition is due to begin anytime soon. Maybe actually as we build to that great crescendo, you want to treat yourselves to a cheeky game of sweat patch bingo on me. Yes, indeed. I'll be, let's do some points, shall we? I'll be handing out basic bingo points tonight for patches under the arms, forehead trickles. How about maximum bonus bingo points for anything tonight within the trouser region? Starting to notice a few folk in the front rows now staring intently at my groin. One lady poised to shout the word house. Hey up, I think I can see some cash being exchanged on some of the tables back there. Fantastic, some of the hardened gambling bingo players in the house tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's fair to say that there's going to be good money riding on this crotch later on. I'm not a prostitute, just want to knock that out of the park. Disgusting, isn't it? Actually, speaking of which, my wife, some of you may have noticed in the advanced promotions that my very own wife is indeed here tonight performing on this live very stage. Give her a cheer, please, my wife. Biggest cheer she'll get tonight. My wife's, please vote for me. My wife's on stage in a few moments' time. You'll notice when she comes up, she's Scottish, she's from Glasgow. So basically, she sounds a little bit like Lorraine Kelly, but won't be buying a round of drinks anytime soon. Oh, I've forgotten my purse again. Oh, right, love. I actually think it's a very good comparison with Lorraine Kelly. Very much rather like the lovely Lorraine, my wife. Despite her age, you still would. I'm aware that she is just back there at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. She's fine. She learned to tune me out a long time ago. She's quite happy back there chewing her toenails. Now, before we go on, the interesting thing about my wife is... Actually, no, you've got me. There is nothing interesting about my wife. Actually, no, I have something. She is a buff. She is a doctor of cancer research type stuff, which is interesting because she studied Latin. However, when she wrote her doctorate, she created a thesis, a good 4 inches thick, entitled, let's see if I can remember this. Can I have a drum roll, please? On your thighs, please. A drum on your thighs, please. Build up to this. On your own thighs, sir. Here we go. The role of the Epstein-Barr virus encoded latent membrane protein 1 in the pathogenesis of nasopharyngina carcinoma. Yeah? That's what I like to call it, fucking science. This scientific nature that she has is driven by a very competitive ability that I alluded to earlier on. And a great example of that competitive nature is that very recently my wife and I've been teaching our little daughter, our darling daughter Isabella, how to play chess. And of course, you play a 6-year-old at chess, you kind of give them a game, you win a game, you lose a game, just to teach them the value of such things. But our game is slightly different. So when she goes to bed, my wife, in her competitive nature, will say, oh, let's have a cheeky game ourselves. And I'll be like, Okay, and we play a similar game to the standard game of chess in that there are the same 16 pieces each, same restrictions of those individual pieces and movements as they go around the board. But come the inevitable point in the game where I go to take her first piece, she kicks my head in. She does, genuinely. It results in violence every time. As a consequence of her gameplay, she has forcibly rammed chess pieces into orifices in my body that do not constitute a legal chess move. I'm having flashbacks now. The worst one was the bishop. That one went in diagonally. Actually, thinking about it, on one of those occasions, it wasn't chess that we were playing. Bitch didn't have a headache that night, did she? Ladies and gentlemen, she'll be out on stage in just a few moments' time, spitting, dragging her knuckles. When she does come out on stage, perhaps don't concern yourself too much with matters of laughter and applause and such like. Just make sure that you maintain eye contact with her, and for goodness sake, don't interrupt. And then perhaps in one great crescendo, unified audience, just come together and just say, yes, dear. And then don't turn your back on her. I'm being kind about my jokes about my wife. Genuinely, I am. If I were as competitive as she were, I'd perform a proper roast on her on stage tonight. Again, noun, not verb, just to clarify. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been an aspiring comedian, a perspiring comedian, and sadly now an expiring comedian. Thank you for humouring me as I've attempted to humour you. My name's Andy. A very good night to you.